Hi, I'm Dawn and this is where Shabby meets Bling. This is also What Would You Make? And I love this collaboration because I love working with wood as a medium. Today's project is going to send us towards Halloween, and we all love Halloween. I am going to be turning an old wood silverware chest into a handbook. Not just any handbook, a handbook for fortune tellers. Ooh.
Speaking of What Would You Make, I'd love to thank our hosts, Zaina of OK at Home DIY and Connie of Connie's Woodshop and DIYs. And I'd also like to thank our guest host, JC of Crafting with JC. You will find the links to their fabulous channels and this playlist in the description box below. This is the silverware chest in question, and I really like it. Look at the inside. It is still in great shape, and it doesn't smell funny. I picked it up at Goodwill. To make this thing actually become a book, we have a set of hinges to deal with, and we have that knob on the front. So all of that has to come off. For once, there's not a ton of destruction and tearing things apart. Not much. The whole goal here is to make this thing look like a book and function like a book. So we need to give it all the attributes of a book. It needs to have pages, it needs to have a spine, and it needs to open. So by running all three of the four edges through the table saw, we are going to give it the illusion of pages. So you can see here, it's starting to kind of look like a book. You can see the pages if you kind of use your imagination. And from this point on, we need to really kick it up. We need to add some other things. We need to add a spine, and we need a front cover and a back cover. This piece of paneling, which is leftover, scrap, keep everything. This piece of scrap is going to become, we're going to cut it down for a front cover and a back cover. And this is a threshold. Got it at Habitat for Humanity, you know, the Restore. They are awesome. This was a buck. The threshold is going to become our spine. And this little place where it curves in, I will eventually have to sand that out so that it will lay flat against the side of the box that will become our spine. Okay, so I did remove the hinges, but this area still needs to hinge. The other side needs to open, and this needs to bear the weight. So what I'm going to do is reinforce it. So I peeled away the lining, and I'm using, these are just packing strapping. I mean, it looks familiar to all of you. I've cut it into tiny pieces, and I'm going to glue. I'm going to use my B7000 and my hot glue, and I am going to glue these over both edges to kind of create an internal hinge. And then I will replace the lining and glue it back into place. I'm keeping the lining because I kind of like that royal blue. I kind of like it. We have to now really play into the fact that this is an illusion. This is not a book. And I am using a coping saw to connect the pages so that it looks like it's one clean line all the way across from one side of the box all the way around to the other. And I am just very gently using this coping saw to saw away on the little edge. I rotate back and forth between the coping saw and the sandpaper to really finish off that edge. And here you can see how it looks from the unfinished side to the finished side. Big difference. And it really is starting to look like a book. And now it's time to paint. I'm using chalk paint. And this is a Waverly Cashew chalk paint. And right now I am just painting the pages. We're giving them a nice first coat, and then we have to really think about our covers, the covers of this book. My covers are cut, and the front cover is going to be dimensional, and I'm going to use some scrap pieces of wood from that fencing project. I told you I keep everything, and a couple pieces of trim molding from a project that they never got used in. So I'm going to picture frame out the kind of flat stock on the outside and the kind of prettier detail molding on the inside. I am not going to pin anything or brad anything, no kind of nails or staples. I'm just going to let this be straight up a glue project. I'm going to use wood glue, and I'm going to use hot glue and a whole lot of clamps. And I'm just going to glue it in place and make sure all my corners line up so I have a beautiful picture frame. And then on the inside have yet another beautiful picture frame. And then we'll just wait for all of my glues to dry. So this is how the transition is going to be on the box. It's going to be on the part of the box that opens, which might seem weird, but there's no other way to get a solid piece of wood on this box and make it look like it is a book. If you put it on the part that hinges, it's not going to open. So I need to figure out the logistics of how to make this work. And step one is to sand down the raised edges of this transition strip, this threshold basically. And so I'm sanding both sides down. And I'm also sanding the part of the box that is going to have to open and stay clear of the threshold. I have added the threshold to the box, and I only glued it, and I did add brad nails. I only attached it to half of the box. And now I am just seeing how the back cover is going to fit, and I'm sanding it down so it's nice and smooth. Now that I know that back cover is going to fit nicely, I am gluing and clamping. No nails, no brads, no staples, just glue and clamp, and I'll let it set.
I've got a really good start on the conversion of our box. I mean our book. It's becoming a book. Now we need to talk about design.
Since this is a fortune teller's handbook, I want it to kind of tell a story. And I want the story to be, I went to a fortune teller and I sat in her wonderful little spooky, really kind of fun and funky little room, and I had my fortune told. And so I envision drapes and a beautiful table with a beautiful crystal ball sitting on it, and of course signage that tells me she is a fortune teller. Now that I have a design in mind, I need to transfer that design onto the front cover of this fortune teller's handbook. And I have made templates out of cardboard, and I've just laid them down on top, and I'm going to trace every component that I want to put on this handbook. Now it's time for my favorite part. I get to paint. And yeah, painting with a brush isn't as fun for me as a good old can of spray paint, but it has to be done. So I am starting with the back cover, and I'm going to get it painted, and I'm just using craft dark burnt sienna, I believe, paint. And once again, I'll leave all the paint colors I used and the brands in the description box below, but I'm getting a good coat of paint on the spine and on that back cover. Now for the front cover. I am going to paint everything that needs to be this book brown. That's what I'm gonna call it, book brown. It's a big old leather book. And everything that is going to remain that color, I need to paint that color. I'm not gonna paint the whole book. I'm gonna go around my stencil work, and those areas that I stenciled in are gonna be other colors. Pretty colors, pretty. And now on to those pretty colors. This is a purple. I don't know the exact name of it. Once again, in the description box, guys. But I love purples. Love, love, love. And I love purples with fall and Halloween colors. Nothing is prettier really than a beautiful orange, like a pumpkin orange, and a purple, a lavender. So I am adding, my drapes are going to be this beautiful purple with some highlights. And you're going to recognize that color of the highlights because it's going to mimic the inside of the box, that velvet that's on the inside. And I'm also going to add some detailing at the top of our curtains. They need to have folds in them, don't they? Once I am solid purple, I start with adding that other color in. And I'm just blending the two together so that we've got a different color altogether, a new color with the purple and that beautiful blue together. And then I'm going to add little areas here and there with just that blue, so that we've got some accents in my drapes.
I did say this was going to have a dimensional cover, so it needs to have dimensional elements.
This is a little paperweight that I picked up at Hobby Lobby years and years ago, and they were like on the 90% clearance. And it's really pretty, but I mean, come on, let's face it, who really uses a paperweight? I got it because it was a cool little glass globe with a, pretty pattern below it. But I thought, hey, if I could scrape off this felt and this little pretty pattern, if I can, which is looking good at this point, I thought this thing would kind of look like a fortune teller's crystal ball, right? So, so scrape, and Windex. I let it soak in between, and there we go. Woohoo! One of these candlesticks and the little wood curtain ring are going to become the base for our crystal ball. So I just need to figure out which one, dimension-wise and shape-wise, looks the best to me, and they're gonna head out to the chop saw and get chopped. I am using the same stencil that I used to designate its location on my cover. I am tracing it onto a piece of Luan because I'm making dimensional signage for my front cover. And this is gonna say Handbook. And of course, this one has to say fortune teller. I'm kind of one cheek in reverse. I did it half backwards. I made one sign before I made the other, but it all works. These are stickers that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and they are gonna use, they're gonna take the place, let's say, of my sticky stencils because they're wee tiny. They're tiny, itty bitty. And I didn't want to have to try to cut out letters that are that incredibly small to spell out Fortune Teller's Handbook. And I have already painted the part that I want to remain black, and I've now added the little tiny stickers, and I burnished them down, and I'm burnishing them down really well, and I'm going over them with chalk paint. This is a black chalk paint, and that is what the base is below them. And I am just sealing them so that the paint I put over top won't bleed underneath the stickers. So now that the top coat of that black chalk paint has dried, I'm going over it with the color that I want the remainder of that sign to be. And it is a cashew chalk paint. And I will add some detailing later, but right now I'm just going over that entire little dimensional sign with the cashew paint. Once dried, I take my hairdryer, because I don't have a fancy little heat gun. I take my hairdryer and I am going to heat up my little sticker letters so they release from my sign. And there you go. There's my sign. At least one of them. There's the fortune teller sign, and now I need to add some detailing so that it actually looks like a dimensional banner. I'm going to be using a couple of other colors of paint to make this happen. And it's just adding some lines and some shadowing, and it will look like a dimensional banner. Here are some wood appliques I picked up at 50% off, of course, at Hobby Lobby to add a little more dimension to the front cover. Back to the paperweight and a little extra something something. I am tracing my little paperweight onto my front cover, and I am going to cut a big old hole in it. The hole is now cut into the front cover and into the actual silverware box, the chest itself. And now I need to cut a corresponding hole in this velvet covering on the inside, because there's something cool gonna go inside. There is bare wood showing on the inside of my silverware chest. So since I have the liner peeled back, I'm taking this opportunity to paint it a lovely purple that matches the curtains on the cover of my book. Once my paint has dried, then I take that velvet lining and I pull it as taut as I can, and I glue it back into place. Just using hot glue, that's it, just hot glue. After I get the liner glued back into place, I am going to glue, just with hot glue, a lid from a little container I picked up at the Dollar Tree, right where I made that hole. I picked up these really cool closures, they're metal, at Hobby Lobby. They're wood pile. I love wood pile stuff. I mean, that company makes some amazing things. So the little closure, along with 2 different colors of felt that look like leather, I'm going to create a strap to close my book. And I will be taking 2 straps of this faux leather, and I'm going to ultra bond them together. Then I will glue that closure onto the very edge where it was just sitting. And then I will have a closure for my beautiful fortune teller handbook.
Our dimensional elements are complete. Now I just need to attach them to our book, and then we will see what the future holds.
Here's our beautiful latch. I actually screwed it into the wood of the trim of the box, and as you can see, it does open. It legitimately works. And you can see that the box is open. Check it out. And I did leave that kind of felted velvet on the inside, as I said, because it's old and it just kind of looks cool. And once again, it did not smell. And for now, I am going to fill it with some beautiful Halloween and fall greeting cards. This will eventually become my box that I use to plan parties, Halloween parties. I will put in there my menus and my guest list and themes and ideas. This is just going to be my little catch-all for my fun party events. I added some gold stripes to the spine of my handbook just to give it a little more aged look, a little more vintage. I like the feel of it. And I also added 4 corners to the cover out of that faux leather felt and added some studs. And there's a really, really good look at the pages. Turned out really well. And there you get a look at the whole book, the whole handbook. You can see my little signage and that crystal ball and even the drapes and all the extra details. So it's not just a book. Do you remember that little canister that we put on the inside from the Dollar Tree? Well, I not only put a little picture in there so you could see through our crystal ball, but I put some lights in there. So our crystal ball actually lights up. Magic. It's magic. See the future. Looking clear, guys. It looks like Halloween in there. I love it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, share it with your family and friends and anybody that loves Halloween and Halloween decor. You can follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to check out my new shop on Etsy. You can show your support of this channel by subscribing, so don't forget to subscribe. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.